Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio is brought to you by AnglersChoice.ca, the Angler's Choice in handmade soft plastics. Also presented to you by Handlebars Musky Lures, Zing the Bling, Frantic Big Game Baits, Keith's Trophy Fishing.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode
Fish
of
NV
Ben
Guides
McQuinney Outdoor Radio.
and Husky Musky
My
Leader.
guest this evening
You're
is
listening
Alex
to Ben
Pinheiro.
McQuinney Outdoor
He's
Radio.
a Angler's Choice Pro Staff and a Hamilton Bassmasters member. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
Not a problem. So, we're how many weeks now into bass season?
Geez, what, three now, I guess it is?
Three, four almost, yeah.
Yeah, almost there.
And any big pegs?
Well, prior to the season, we were fishing the U.S. side, and we got some sixes and whatnot
Nice.
on smallies. But, of course, as season came around here in Canada, we had our first tournament, and things were a little slow.
Yeah, I've heard that across the board. I'm thinking it's this crazy weather we've been having, just system after system moving through.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be something. I mean, if it's not the rain, it's the cold. I don't know. We're just, but hopefully this warm weather coming up this weekend, things are going to change. I'm pretty sure they are.
For sure. So you, where did you grow up fishing?
We were fishing Lake Erie, actually.
Oh, okay.
That's where do about 80% of the fishing. Most of us, for the club anyway, most of our tournaments are held either on Erie or the river. We won't discuss the river because it's not a great place for me. But yeah, most of the time I'd say about 80% of the time it's Erie.
Yeah, and because of the zebra mussels on Erie, it's really clear, and there's, you know, if you don't sneak up on the fish, they're gone.
Yeah, it's definitely clearing up for sure. I mean, the weeds are. I mean, right now weeds are starting to die off as of last week of the seaweed and whatnot, but it's starting to clear up even more. So I would think by this weekend or following weekend, it's gonna be really clear.
Yeah.
And hopefully do some sight fishing because that's what I love to do. So.
Sight fishing, yes. I remember a few years back I fished not Skoogog. What am I thinking here? I can't remember the lake now. Coochiching. And I couldn't believe the clarity of the water. Like, we would get to like a rock or a hump, and you could see everything. And the black back of the bass, and you know, even the shadow that the bass are making on the lake bed. So it's definitely it's one of those lakes that you need to have a keen eye for sight fishing and a desire to be a finesse angler. I guess you are a finesse angler.
I guess I would call myself a finesse angler. I'm a big guy, but I like the finesse. Yeah, I definitely, I'd say drop shotting is definitely my go-to for sure.
Now, is there, for our listeners out there, is there a specific pattern for drop shotting, for how fast you want the bait to fall, with the weight, that sort of thing? Is there any tips you can give us for drop shotting?
The tip I would give for Erie,
well, just in general,
is definitely even if using a tube.
Yeah.
A lot of guys would just drop it, over the side and jig it up and down somewhat. But on Erie, I find if you cast it out a little bit and let the current take it somewhat, that's when they seem to hit. They're a little spooky out there, obviously because of the clear water. But that's what I would say. I would definitely say casting out a little bit, little shake here and there, especially with the kill shot, and they're all over it.
Yeah, that hats off to all the guys that make a drop shot bait. But when I saw Dave's kill shot in my test tank downstairs, I was just absolutely amazed about like the neutral buoyant aspect of that. When it's off the end of standout hook. That's the hooks that I prefer to use.
Right.
It's like literally straight out. The tail's barely sagging. It's just one of those miracle baits that has the right ratio when it was created, and it slays fish.
No question about it. I mean, and the ripples, the bubbles that it creates as it drops, as you just shake it a little bit, unbelievable. And like I said, I put it to the test when I finally got my order in from Dave. I think I guess saying when we were fishing on the U.S. side a few weeks back, and they were unbelievable. It was just slaying these things. I mean, you weren't catching 2 or 3 pounds. It was just, and it wasn't. They were just bang bang. They were smacking it. They were killing it. And I'm talking, some 5s and 6s out there. I mean, it's unbelievable. And the guys I was fishing, they couldn't believe it. And it was like 1 for 1. I said, "Wow, this is incredible." And it's been working for me ever since. And I go to it all the time. That's what I'm using all the time.
All right. Do you have a specific color you're wanting to divulge to our listeners?
I do. The iridescent blue.
Iridescent blue. Okay, so he's being coy and aloof, folks. You'll have to go to anglerschoice.ca to find that iridescent blue color that Alex is talking about. But
it's one of the colors I find it. I don't know what it is, but it just slays them. It really does. I mean, I've used a few. Actually, Dave's got another one out there now. It's the same iridescent.
Yeah.
Got a fluorescent tail on it.
Oh yes. Yeah.
It just came out. I think just recently.
I really like the optional two-tone baits, because sometimes you get into a lake and it's just a little dirty. You can see maybe 10 feet down, but after that it kind of loses its visibility. And with that chartreuse or fluorescent tail, I find that it adds as a little bit of an attractor. It gives a different profile for the fish to see.
No question. I know it. I said I tried that for the first time, and I found, wow, this thing is incredible too. I mean, he's got such a variety of colors and baits there, but those two so far for me are definitely my go-tos for sure.
So tube or the kill shot on Erie. All right.
Erie, that's my thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hear these guys talking about what they use on Erie. They'll use, tubes, which I use a lot of tubes as well.
Now, for the kill shot, do you gauge the weight according to the bait?
You know what I've been doing? Actually, I kind of, it varies for me. Lately, with, I can say as of last weekend, I was out Saturday as well.
Yeah.
And with a friend of mine, we just went some fun fishing, and just out of Crystal Beach. And one of our fellow Hamilton Bassmasters, Joe Cabina, and we were both out there, and it was, it was kind of overcast and whatnot, and it was blowing pretty good. So I went with half ounce, so I could feel the bottom, because contact with the bottom is important with a kill shot, obviously.
Absolutely, yep.
Got to make sure I have contact, and I couldn't get any contact, so I went a little heavier, and that's the heaviest I went, and it seemed to work for me.
Yeah.
But I said, it's all depending on the conditions that we're in. It's going to dictate what weight I'm using.
Now, you're obviously running a fluorocarbon lead.
I actually run 100% fluorocarbon.
Well, like mainline.
Mainline. I don't use a braid to fluoro. Not on Erie anyway.
No, there's too much chance of misadventure that way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys, if you're fishing the Niagara River and whatnot in the fall, I would go to a braid with a fluoro leader because of the current and the rocks and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I prefer fluoro. It's just, for me, it works great. It's strong. It's clear. The fish can't see it.
Yeah.
I've never had any issues with it so far.
It's a durable line as well when it comes to abrasion resistant. It's a lot tougher than your regular monofilament, and it also has less stretch. But compared to braid, braid has no stretch. There's a little give with the fluorocarbon, but not as much as traditional monofilament line.
I find to be just as sensitive, maybe not quite braid might be a little more sensitive than the fluoro, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more there.
My personal preference is definitely fluoro. I just, I'm kind of old-fashioned anyway. I kind of stick to what I like and what I know. And
now, how's that for casting, though?
I have no issues casting.
Are you on a spin or
I use a spinning outfit usually when I'm using my drop shot. So there's usually no issues. And when I put my line on, I make sure I put it on nice and tight.
Yeah.
I squeeze it through with my fingers as I'm bringing it on, and I never have any twists or let the loop off or anything like that.
Yeah, because the one thing is when you're applying new line, especially monofilaments or copolymers or any of those kinds of lines, is if you have any loose line, that's going to dictate your first cast.
No question.
So,
especially with brand new line, if you just spooled up, you may have an issue. A lot of people have a tendency to overspool their reels.
And then it barfs off the end of your reel, and you're like, what?
I mean, that's something you learn, I think as a kid you learn that. I mean, you sit there and you just roll, you spool on as much as you can.
Yeah.
And your first cast, and it's gone.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, well, I won't do that again, ever.
It gets a little costly these days. I mean, line's not cheap anymore.
No, especially with the space-age designs of them all.
No question.
Let's talk about Hamilton Bassmasters.
Okay.
Great club. I hear it's
Bassmasters is an awesome club.
I hear it's one of the largest ones in Ontario.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the largest. It may even be the largest one now. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I believe we're somewhere around 45 to 50 members. Close to that anyway.
Wow, that is a great roster. And
a lot of young kids this year, a lot of young anglers that joined up this year.
And that's important.
Yeah, and I mean, these kids, they're showing us how to fish.
There you go.
And like I said, it's great having the kids involved because, you've got to pass it on to somebody.
Yeah.
And these kids got to learn, where it's going, what the sport's going to go. And the sport's blowing up,
Well, and that's what I couldn't understand. There was a bit of a lull in the Canadian bass industry, and then now it's hotcakes again.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, obviously, if you go online or everybody's got a forum or something.
Yeah.
There's a million sponsors out there. I mean, everybody's fishing. I mean, of all ages, people are coming back into the sport. I mean, and I believe it's due to shows like yourself and clubs like ours and the other clubs in Ontario, and some of the shows on TV. They're actually promoting fishing more and more. And I think more families and parents are getting their kids involved as well. So
yeah,
I think that's key anyway.
Absolutely. And you guys make an appearance at the Spring Fishing and Boat Show in Mississauga.
We were there we were there pretty much every day.
Did you guys sign up any new members?
We signed up a unbelievable amount of members.
Well, there you go. That's where you got your new roster from.
You're probably right. There was a lot of interest.
That's good.
Definitely a lot of interest there. I mean, there's people, obviously, people from all over Ontario come to that show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people are asking, where you live. So right away, if you live in the Oakville, Burlington, Hamilton, or outskirts, you'd be, belong to our club.
Yep.
Or if there's clubs in Mississauga or wherever, I mean, people are being told where to go, who to see, who to call.
Yep.
Right now, and there was, like I said, a ton of interest, tons. And even the little kids coming up doing the casting and whatnot, it was a blast.
And that's one of the things that I like about seeing the Hamilton Bass Club there, is it's not just a membership drive, it's actually something for the family and kids.
Absolutely.
So that they have some, because, well, if there wasn't anything for the kids at these shows, moms and dads that are diehard anglers wouldn't get through that show.
No, that's for sure.
It would be done in an hour, and that'd be it. We'd be back in the car and back home.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be dragging your kids around.
Yeah, and that's no fun. So it's good that you guys have something there for the kids. And you guys do some local charity work. Well, not so much charity work, but you do local derbies and whatnot for kids, correct?
Yeah, we actually have kids fishing derby coming up at Christie Conservation Area. Saturday, July 13th, from 9 to 1. And there's going to be tons of prizes. This is our second year. I ran it last year. We got the ball rolling. I'd say we had about 50 kids last year. We had prizes for everybody. And that's the main goal. That was when I was running it, and it's still the same way as this year. We make sure that everybody gets a prize. Every kid gets a prize, whether they catch a fish or not. We have all our members, walking around trying to help kids fish, tie knots, help some of the parents. Some of the parents are having some issues about tying knots and how to catch and whatnot. So this year we're having, how to teach them how to do some knots, how to throw crankbaits, how to do a few things like that, and help out. We also have the Hamilton Conservation Authority. They're going to be there measuring the fish and weighing them on each weigh station, so they get an idea what's in that lake. And last year we got, I want to say, good variety of fish. I mean, a lot of small stuff, a lot of small, largemouth bass, a lot of catfish and whatnot. But that's what they wanted to see. They want to see what's going on in that lake, so they get a good idea of what's going on. But this is going to be a great event. I mean, like I said, last year was big. This year should be even bigger. I know we have quite a few prizes.
That's awesome.
And like I said, we're going to have some of the guys going to bring some of their big bass boats, so some of the kids can look at these beautiful, shiny rigs out there.
So when does that take place, and where is it located, so our listeners can in the area can get involved and take the family down for that?
Absolutely. It's going to be Christie Lake Conservation Area. That's off on number 5 Highway.
Yep.
It's Saturday, July 13th, 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. Registration's 8 o'clock. Prizes for from 2 to 7 and 8 to 14. And like I said, all prizes will be awarded to everybody that participates.
Perfect. And is there a cost involved?
You can actually go on our website.
Okay.
And RSVP how many kids are coming.
Okay, and what's the website?
You can go under Christie Lake Kids Fishing Day at gmail.com.
Okay.
And like I said, it's free to fish. You just got to pay a park admission, and away you go.
Awesome.
And it should be a great day. Like I said, hopefully the weather's going to be nice like it was last year. But like I said, a lot of the kids came down, and they're mesmerized by some of these, some of these fast boats we had down there.
Oh yeah, that draws a crowd for sure.
So I mean, that's a start. Kids start seeing, what what everybody fishes with. Not everybody, because I don't have a big rig like that. But some of the guys do have some of the big boats. They come down, they spare their time, they come down and let the kids, take a look and walk around and whatnot. It's definitely a sight to see.
Awesome. Well, and the other thing too is like you said, anybody who participates is going away with something, and that means a lot, especially for a little kid, especially if they didn't catch anything. At least you're going away with something.
I mean, I've been doing derbies for a lot of years, even when I wasn't a member of the club, but I used to belong to other clubs and whatnot, and running derbies and whatever. And my thing was always to make sure kids got a prize.
Yeah.
Because, whether they caught a fish or not, they draw a number or whatnot, or just have a prize for showing up, it makes a big difference. I mean, they're going to remember that for the rest of their life. You're talking kids like, 4 or 5, or younger.
Yeah.
They're going to remember that forever.
Absolutely, 100%.
Especially if they catch a nice fish, they'll remember that even more.
Yeah. My little guy, Titus, we took him to Port Perry just before the season opened in Region Zone 16, and we took him to their Port Perry Bassmasters Kids Day,
right?
And he won his age category.
Awesome.
53 inches worth of panfish he brought in, all on his ice fishing rod.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's great, though. That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
And they'll remember that forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I've taken my kids fishing when they were small, and, all I remember is that pike that we got away, or the one that we hooked into or something.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
Excellent. Well, Mike, that's all the time we have. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Folks, if you're in the Hamilton area or the Golden Horseshoe area and you want to get involved, look up the Hamilton Bassmasters Club online, and there's a great bunch of guys. Alex is one of them. He can show you the ropes. It's free to attend a meeting, correct? And your membership fees?
It's $50 a year.
Okay, well that's that's almost the cost of admission to fish for the year too. So.
And that includes your Bassmaster magazine and entrance to the Bassmasters and all that.
Yeah.
It includes everything.
So any big plans this season, Alex?
I am working towards the qualifier this year, which is coming up end of July or August, in the Bay of Quinte.
Well, all of us at Angler's Choice are plugging for you, and as well as Ben McQuinney Outdoors will be plugging for you. And it was a pleasure having you on the line today.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
Well, the one thing that I wanted to touch on is, talking about this just makes me so angry. I was up in my my camp this past weekend after the Bell River KW Classic, and I went out to my favorite dock to try some casts with my new rod. Thank you again, Frantic Big Game Baits, for that beautiful rod and reel combo. And I look down, and here is a 3.5, 4-pound smallmouth bass floating. And not one side, but both sides had been filleted off. And I walk to the end of the dock, I look in the water, and what do I see? The fillets. Folks, I'm not going to point the finger. I'm not going to get into a big he said, she said thing, or it's them or it's us thing. I'm just going to say flat out, that's wrong. Don't do it. And if you get caught, it's a hefty fine. You can lose everything. I've seen guys left in their underwear standing on the dock. So, I don't know what practices people have for catching fish, but filleting a bass on both sides and throwing out the meat is not one of them. There are no large catfish in Guelph Lake. Alright? There's carp and there's perch, but there's no large catfish. So I'm not sure if it was a fouled attempt at filleting someone's meal, but folks, don't do that. That's just absolutely wrong on so many levels. So whoever you were out there that did that, just know that the Conservation Authority, the Grand River Conservation Authority, has been made aware of that heinous crime, and they're going to start beefing things up in the fishing department, I'm sure, in the next little while, because stuff like that can't go on. That's all I got to say on that. Stick around. We got some more guests right here on Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio.
Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio is brought to you by AnglersChoice.ca, the Angler's Choice in handmade soft plastics. Also presented to you by Handlebars Musky Lures, Zing the Bling, Frantic Big Game Baits, Keith's Trophy Fishing, Fish NV Guide Service, and Husky Musky Leaders. You're listening to Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio.
Alright folks, it's time for the rant with Cooper Gallant.
Hey everyone, it's been a couple weeks since I've been back on Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio, but certainly glad to be back on. I haven't been on because I've been fishing. Exams are finally done and summer is here. It's only been a week in the summer, but feels like a month, which is awesome. I've been waking up every morning to go fishing, whether I'm downrigging in Lake Ontario for salmon or fishing bass. Waking up at 4 every morning to go fishing makes the days feel so much longer and get a lot more fishing time in. So don't be lazy, set your alarm, wake up and go fishing. Fishing in the lake has been pretty slow, but hopefully it picks up before the Great Ontario Salmon Derby, which is this weekend. But this weekend I'll be away and I won't be able to get out the first day of the Derby. I'm at the Port Perry Junior Bassmaster Tournament, and I can't wait to wake up at 4 and do it all over again. Thanks everyone for listening. This is Cooper Gallant, 60-second rant.
Hey folks, if you like what you hear on Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio, be sure to drop us a line
at benmcquinnyoutdoors@yahoo.com.
All right, folks, welcome back to Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio. My next guest and good buddy, none other than Brent Bochek of Fish NV Charter Guide Service. I always want to say charters because it's one of those colloquialisms in our English language that just keeps coming out of my mouth, and I do apologize, Brent.
Oh, no problem. I had Fish NV multi-species guiding, Ben, but a lot of people like to say charter. I like to distinguish myself as a guide service more than a charter, but hey, as long as I got the Fish Envy part right, it doesn't matter if they spell your name wrong, as long as they know your name.
Now, is Fish Envy, is that like, I don't have any fish, so I'm envious of you?
Could be.
I
haven't been fishing with you yet, Ben. I don't know if you can catch them or not.
Well, you should have seen me working it out at the Classic this past weekend.
How'd you guys make out there?
We brought one teenager to the side of the boat, a northern to the side of the boat, and we caught a walleye, nice sized walleye, and a largemouth bass on the troll.
Oh, right on. You know, as long as you know what, you're out fishing, and sometimes things work out, sometimes don't. The main thing is, I know you're out there with Mike Parker, who's a great guy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys had a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I took the opportunity to make it an absolute learning experience for myself. I probably washed every bait he had on board just to learn how to fish it, how it moves through the water, how it reacts. I definitely put time in on working my figure eight. So I feel confident the next time I go out. I did, in fact, hook into one on the troll, and I felt the hook bend, and then the fish was gone. So it was heartbreaking. He knew it was a good fish too, so it was definitely upper 40 class. He said so. The
worst thing that can happen when you're casting a new bait, Ben, is to catch a fish on your first cast because you don't know how you were working it yet.
That's true. That's true.
And I've had it happen. It's very fortunate when it happens, but you're going, I don't even know how the bait looked yet because I hadn't got it back to the boat to see how I was working it.
Well, we had caught this one on the troll, and it was just on the tiniest little 6-inch bait, too. And it was, I brought it in, and I said, Mike, I don't think it's on anymore. He said, no? I said, no, I think I felt them get off. So I just, I didn't bury the hooks hard enough into her. So, but there's always next year.
Yeah. Anytime you're musky fishing, that hook set is vital. Any type of fishing, whether you're walleye or bass fishing, that hook set is one of the most important things. You get the hooks in there good, and then you're good to go.
Now you've seen the 1, 2, 3 hook sets as well, eh? What's your take on that? Guys, triple pumping the hook set.
Well, in my opinion, one good hook set should do the job, especially nowadays with the braided lines with virtually no stretch in them.
Yeah.
You get one good hook set there, especially your musky fishing, and get a good stiff rod to start with, and that braided line with, as I said, virtually no stretch. You get one good hook set into them, you should be all right. If you're not confident that you got a good hook set to begin with, then no problem giving them the second one.
Yeah. Well, maybe I needed to give him a second one. but I got my bass, so I'm happy. Nice little 3-pounder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so wasn't the fish I was looking for, but
good stuff.
It was absolutely exciting. I saw a musky breach. He had to have been in the 40s. He was just huge. This giant thing leapt straight out of the air, right beside the boat, and I was just absolutely enthralled. Never seen that in my life. So, but yeah, all around, great trip. Jonathan Taylor from Frantic Big Game Baits came away top dog in the Classic overall. He took home the Swan, first place, big fish, most fish. He cleared the table.
Good for him. So, you get him on his own baits too, I would imagine.
Well. Anyways, we'll let JT tell the story.
Right on. Yeah, I look forward to hearing that on your show one day.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely worth an earful. So, but Lake St. Clair, I tell you, that is not for the faint of heart. That is some serious muskie hunting out there. Those guys are in it to win it. When they go out there, they are definitely decked out hunting that big one. They don't even, worry about the small ones, the teenagers. They're all out, hell bent on bringing in the big ones. So.
Yeah, well, once you become an experienced muskie fisherman, it's you're looking for that big fish.
Yeah.
It's always fun catching a fish, no matter what size it is. But if you can avoid the smaller fish, leave them alone.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to damage those smaller fish either. Then not going to hurt them. Let them grow and go after the big fish. I'd rather catch 1 or 2 fish in a day that are good quality fish than catch 5 or 6 small fish.
Yeah, absolutely. So you had the kids' fishing day there. How did that go?
That was great. We're up at we have a trailer at Sunny Acres on Cameron Lake, and last weekend they had their annual bass derby, and I took our kids out here. Heather has 2 girls that are Genesee's 13 and Tegan's 11, and I took Genesee out for the second part of it, and Tegan out for the first part, and Tegan ended up coming in first place, and Genesee came in second place. So they were pretty happy about that. They won a little bit of cash.
Yeah.
And they took great pride in releasing their fish in front of everybody after they weighed them in.
Nice. And that's important, too, to teach young kids the art, the practice of catch and release. My son, he's absolutely excited to be the one to put the fish back in, more so than to catch it. So.
That's awesome. As I said, it was a derby, and if people wanted to keep fish, that was their prerogative.
Yeah.
But you know what? I would say over 90% of the people that came back ended up releasing their fish after they weighed them in, and it was great to see.
Well, when I got back from the Classic, you'll hear it, but I'll just touch on it again. Somebody discarded a largemouth or smallmouth bass, and in such a fashion that it's just it was a grotesque crime against nature. Let's just put it that way. So to all of you that practice CPR out there, hats off, and Brent and I appreciate it because that means it's more fish for us to catch.
It's more fish for us to catch. It's more fish for future fishermen to catch.
That's right.
We always talk about getting kids involved in fishing. Well, we want to make sure we leave something for them in the future as well.
Exactly.
Not that there's anything wrong with keeping a few fish for the table every now and then.
Absolutely.
We definitely enjoy a fish fry up at the trailer there, and we eat a lot of panfish. We eat walleye. We eat a lot of panfish.
Yep.
And by eating panfish,
we hooked into a nice walleye on the troll there.
And it takes the pressure off their game fish.
True. We hooked into a nice walleye there on the troll, and if he had his live well working, I would have brought it back, bonked it, and it would have been coming home with me. So, but yeah, put the big ones back and take the pictures of the teenagers and put them back for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You got quite the weekend planned.
I do, starting tomorrow morning, and then it continues on into Saturday as well.
Okay. So, I heard tell rumor that you're taking one of the field editors from Lady Angler magazine, which is an online magazine. I believe her name's Deb Thompson.
I think you know her.
Yeah, I think I know her quite well. And that is fantastic. Well, congratulations on that. You'll have. I hope you don't get distracted by all the beauty on board.
Hey, we're looking for a big fish tomorrow, and that's our number one goal. There is to hook into some muskie.
Well, all the best to you, and just wear earplugs because if you hook into one, there's gonna be some screaming on that boat.
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow we stay away from the walleye and we get into the muskie.
Perfect. And you're going up to Felon Falls.
Yeah, we'll be in Felon Falls area on the weekend here, and
that's up in the Kawarthas, isn't it?
In the Kawarthas, so we'll fish there on tomorrow, Friday, and then Josh Blasmo's coming up on Saturday, and we're gonna do a little fishing then too.
Nice, perfect.
So,
I think I think Josh was wanting to get in on the gig.
John's coming up, another buddy of mine that lives up this way, where the three of us are going to fish together on Saturday, and who knows, maybe we'll get a footage of a few nice fish.
Perfect. All right, well, Brent, thank you very much for the recap. Any plug you want to give out there?
Any what, Ben?
Anything or anyone you want to plug?
Anyone I want to plug?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm driving. I'm driving right now. Of course, I'm on the hands-free here because I am driving. But if I look at my rearview mirror here, I got my musky rods in the truck here. My truck bed isn't quite long enough. So I got to put a little bit of sponge in between the cap of the tunnel cover and the tailgate.
Yep.
And as I look out here, I'm glad I got rod gloves on my rods because it's saving them from bouncing around there and rubbing on the tailgate.
Absolutely. All hail the rod glove.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, buddy. Well, it was good talking to you, Ben.
And good luck tomorrow, and all the best. Folks, Brent Bochek of Fish Envy Guide Service. He's going out tomorrow with Deb Thompson of Lady Angler Magazine. All the best to you, Brent.
Thanks, Ben.
Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio is brought to you by AnglersChoice.ca, the Angler's Choice in handmade soft plastics. Also presented to you by Handlebars Musky Lures, Zing the Bling, Frantic Big Game Baits, Keith's Trophy Fishing, Fish Envy Guide Service, and Husky Musky Leaders. You're listening to Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio.